Welcome, everyone. I'm really happy that everyone's here tonight to join me in our 5th ELL webinar, and it's on technology. This webinar series has been brought to you by the consultants and teachers from Lambton-Kent District School Board, Blue Water District School Board, Grand Prairie District School Board, Peterborough, Victoria, Northumberland, Clarington Catholic District School Board, Henson, Muskoka Catholic District School Board. So the 5 boards got together to present this series for you. And our purpose was so that participants will have a further understanding of the second language learning, to share ideas and best practices across the province. And I'm hoping that we'll be able to do that today as I'm presenting digital resources to you, that you will also participate and share with us what you know are really good sources of digital resources as well. This has been gracefully given to us from OTF, and the OTF provides many great sources of webinars. Today I'm quickly going to show you different access to different websites and software, and so for example Google Docs. If you wanted to learn more about that, I know that OTF has other presenters that have done other webinars that you can access that can help you learn how to use that software for all the Google apps. And again, if you want to follow OTF on the social media. So we're going to start today with, on the side, you will see that you can select an object on the left-hand side. And if you pick image, the one that looks like a camera, oops, I just lost you. Just a sec. If you choose one of those, then you'll be able to place where you are on the map.
Actually, Christina, it's not the camera, it's the little clip art at the very, very bottom. The camera will take a screenshot. So if you just want to click on the...
Oh, that's why I did this. Okay, that's why I've lost it. Sorry.
Yeah, if you click on the clip art and then go over to the Common Symbols tab, then you'll be able to drop one of the images onto the map.
Thank you. Could you please do that? Show us where you are in the province. So we have people from the Windsor area and people from the Kingston area. Anyone else? Great. So we have many people from basically Southern Ontario. That's awesome. And my computer's now, just a sec, frozen. Mally, my computer's frozen.
Okay, you've actually turned your video camera on, so if you can, I'll turn it off for you.
Thank you, Mally.
And see if that helps.
No.
Okay, so I suggest that you...
Okay, I've got it, Molly. Sorry about that. Just a few technical difficulties, but we'll get through them. So today, I just want to share who I am. So my name is Christina, and I'm an ELL resource teacher, ESL, ELD itinerant teacher. And I have I'm fortunate to work with another colleague, who there's 2 of us that provide support for all of our ELLs within our board. There's approximately 100 ELLs in our school board, and we are very busy in support of them. Our students are scattered, 1 or 2 in each school, so it keeps us traveling quite a bit. I've been in this role for 8 years, and before that I've been taught primary, junior, intermediate, and I was a special ed teacher as well. So now I'd like to know who we are talking with today. If you could please select any icon that you would like and place it into which category, which role fits for you. Thank you. Great. We have a variety of people here today, primary, secondary, ESL teachers, consultants, that's great. Welcome to everyone. So today's plan is threefold. We're going to first talk about how to effectively use technology to support our English language learners. Then I'm going to give you a lot of websites and apps that will help you supporting these students. And then we're going to start with the sharing and answering any questions that you may have. So today's focus is we're going to go on a journey together. We're going to be talking about vocabulary, translation, making thinking visible, leveled reading text, ebooks, GAF, and other favorite apps to keep us going for the day. I start with this image. As we go through the journey of learning about technology, we are all at different places in the way that we use it. Some of us are comfortable with texting and emailing, and we're still at survival, and that's great. Others have started to use, say, one or two programs and are comfortable with that and are working towards learning more. Others are effectively using technology in their everyday classrooms, and they've embraced it that way. And others are using it in ways that we couldn't have thought of a few years ago. And I'd like to point out that it depends on where you are. So for example, social media, I haven't been using it personally a lot, so I'm at the survival stage, where I have maybe a little higher up when it comes to using technology with my students. And you might be the opposite. You might be great at social media, and you're just learning as well. The next is SAMR. SAMR is a wonderful it's a model that we can use that will help us in learning how to manage or learn about using technology. So let's start with SAMR. SAMR is just substitute. So the first one is S for substitution, which is just your basic black coffee. So it just acts as just a replacement. You're having the same coffee at Tim's as you're having at McDonald's. So it's like Google Docs instead of your Microsoft Word. It's the same function. They're both word processing tools. Nothing else has been added. Augmentation, A, is now my latte. I've added some milk and spiced it up a little bit and added one thing. So it's like using Google Docs and being able now to share that document and to save it on the cloud. So now I've augmented it, I've added something. M is for modification. So now it's my caramel macchiato. Now I can redesign the task, I can share it, I can collaborate with other people to create an even better product or a better assignment using Google Docs. And then redefinition, now I've got my pumpkin spice coffee. I have now redesigned everything so that I'm creating things that were once unimaginable and that are now. So for example, I'm communicating across the world to another country, to another classroom, and having my students interact with students around the world. That would have been unthinkable a few years ago. I've also included, and I think Amali's putting it in, is a little video, it's 120 seconds on SAMR, so that you can watch it at your leisure another day. Now, how technology-enabled is your learning environment? This is all, no one can see, it's all anonymous. Just choose, where do you think you fall in the use of technology in your learning environment today? Please take a symbol or an icon and place it where you think on the graph, on the line. Great. So we have some people that are just learning these apps. I hope I don't overwhelm you today, and others who are innovative. I hope I am teaching and showing you some things that you haven't seen before. So let's carry on with our journey. So thank you for sharing that. At any time, if you have any ideas or anything that you would like to share, please, you can either raise your hand or please put it in the chat box, and I will do my best to help you and to share it. I'll give you a minute just to read this quote that I've picked up from an article that I read on effectively incorporating technology with ELLs. I find that's key here is that we're not only trying to support the content goals and objectives for a lesson, but also the language goals and objectives, as well as keeping in mind the linguistic demand of the task that students will need to accomplish the assignment or the task. These have to go hand in hand. And when choosing technology tools, I have these 3 questions that came from the article that I'd like to keep in the back of my mind. Does this site help fill the potential gaps of the background knowledge? Does this app contain the language scaffolds that are needed to help lower the linguistic demand while at the same time helping students to learn and understand the content? And is this site or app helpful in differentiating instruction based on the student's language proficiency? Keep these questions in your mind as we go through our journey today. So we're going to begin to explore. But before we do, please check with your own school board policy on technology, specifically the use of websites and applications. Each school board has their own policies in place, and we must be familiar with what our board is expecting of us. So let's start. Our first stop on our journey today is EduGames. You will have noticed that we, in all 5 of our webinars, have specifically referenced EduGames. For any teacher with an ELL, it's essential that you know of this site and all the richness that it has to share with you. I'm going to show you where. So here, where it says resources, if you select this tab, so EduGames is edugames.ca. If you select this tab, a wealth of resources come to you. And Atala was specifically mentioning supporting ELL with limited prior schooling, and that is right there. This is where you find it, under resources. If you're looking for the step ongoing continua, it's here as well. When you select this tab, you'll find the ESL and the ELD continua. And then we have the monographs. And if you select this tab, a list of monographs will appear for you. There's one on supporting English literacy development. So there's this wealth of knowledge for you. And they update the monographs regularly, so it's important to kind of keep an eye on what's happening here. And if you're interested in looking at the videos that Atala shared with us last time, they're under Professional Learning Facilitator. If you select this tab, then it'll bring you to resources and it'll say ELD videos. All this information is here for you, and the strategies and the research is all there just at your fingertips to help you support our English language learners. So our next stop are words, words, words. So the structure of today, I'm going to share a few sites with you, and then I'm going to give you 5 minutes to explore those sites on your own. Then we're going to, Mally's going to set a bell so that you know when the time is up. And please return so we can carry on, and we'll share with you some more websites and apps. And we'll be following this type of a format throughout the afternoon. The first site I want to reference to you is called wordreference.com. It's a very simple tool, but it's very, very effective. All you have to do is insert the word that you would like to learn about, select the language that you would like. So in this case, I chose English to Arabic. And then, all of a sudden, it's not just a dictionary or a translating tool. It shows me the word in English. It shows me the word in Arabic. But down below, you will see how it shows the multiple meanings for the word. And this is where Google Translate, we run into issues because many of our Canadian English words have multiple meanings, and the Translate can't determine which meaning you're referring to. But word reference is excellent for secondary teachers or for intermediate and secondary because it provides us with the multiple meanings. And so sometimes I've had a student who's working on a vocabulary slide, so he'll pair up with an English-speaking student to make sure that we've selected the correct meaning of the word. So this is a great tool to have access to. It's called wordreference.com. And I think Mally's putting that into your website, into the chat box for you for later. The next one is Rewordify. Rewordify.com takes a text, so you can either type something and put it in this yellow box, or you can actually cut and paste an entire website or a web page, put it in, and it will rewordify the page and display it, or just rewordify the text. It's your choice. But what it does is it takes out the tier 2 words or tier 3 words and simplifies it so that students are able to read the text. And here's an example. Effectively, And so the word was incorporating it. It changed it to including or combining technology with English language learners. Instead of instances of buying things, they substituted that for purchases. So wherever you see the yellow highlighted, it means that they switched the word and rewordified it to bring it down, just to simplify it for our students. So this one is rewordified.com. And the next one is lingo.com. Lingo is it's a tool that we can use to scaffold for students. It's a simple tool and it works behind the scenes. In Lingo, you put in the website, the URL, into the number 1 box, select the dictionary to the right, you'll see this arrow to the right, and you will then be able to choose a word that you don't know, and it will show you the translation. So for example, effectively incorporating technology with English learners was the title of the article. The article comes up completely just as if it was when I first saw it, but when I click on incorporate, it will allow me to change, it'll allow me to give me a translation. So in this case, I chose Spanish. And how did I do that? When you click the word, the flag will come up. And then you just have to choose the second flag to make sure that it's the language that you want. It doesn't have all the languages, but it has a great deal. And so it will show you which language you want. And the same thing I use for implementing. And it'll change it and show me the Spanish translation. So we're scaffolding it. It's still all in English, but we're building our students' vocabulary. Are there any questions for those first 3 slides, or those first 3 websites? Okay, we will carry on. The next one, I'm going to switch into some translation tools. So Google Translate, Speak and Translate, and Photo Translate. Google Translate is as you know, it's a translation tool with Google. I've switched it here. I gave you the Arabic first, and I had it translate to English. So the other way around would be I would write it in English, and then hit the translation button, the 2 double arrows there, and then it would translate into the language that I choose. If you're choosing a language that is not English, as you can see, the keyboard for that language will appear for you. You can also speak into the program as well, and it will translate. Like I've mentioned, Google Translate is great for words and simple sentences, but it's difficult for the program to work properly for anything longer than a paragraph because it doesn't understand the words that we're choosing within that text. So for example, I had a student send me an email the other day, and I know he's from Syria, so he sent me an email, and I could tell it was Google Translate because I had a hard time trying to decipher the English, and I had to say it out loud so that I could figure out what it was he was actually trying to say to me. And so then when I responded in very simple, basic English so that I could hope that the translation will go back to him so that he would understand. So you have to kind of be very careful when using Translate. Just keep it simple so that the translation will work. This is a tool called Speak and Translate. So I can speak in English, and it will come up and it'll say the words out loud for me. And then the person who's with me can respond in an alternate language. It will say what the person said so in this case it's Greek, so they would say what they said in Greek, and then it would respond. And then you can carry on a conversation this way. You just keep clicking the 2 buttons, whoever's speaking, and the program will automatically switch and help you carry on the conversation. You do have to speak clearly, because I find if you do not speak clearly, then it might not understand completely what's being said. So you just have to repeat. But it's a great little tool for someone who's just arrived and you need a quick way to communicate with them. So that was Speak and Translate. And the next one's called Photo Translate. And I'm giving you the images on the side so that you can see them later on if you go looking for these apps. Here I copied a math question. I took a picture of the math question using Photo Translate. It appears in English, and then I choose which language I would like it to translate into. And then the photo is actually translated. So I use this sometimes for documents. If a student arrives with a document and I'm trying to figure out what kind of document it is, then I might use Photo Translate to see if I can pick up a word in their title of something so I can understand what this kind of a document it is. Or I could use it for math, or I could use it for simple text. So it's a little tool that we find that our secondary students and our intermediate students like because they can help to translate. Yes. Okay. Alyssa.
Hi. I
think.
just had a question. Are these programs user-friendly on the iPad?
So these three, they can be on a Google like a Google tablet, or the last three that I gave you, the Translate Photo, and Google Translate's on everything, and the Photo Translate is on usually an iPad because you need to be able to capture the image.
That's great.
Most of the things that I'm showing you today are Google for Google and for Android and Apple.
Thank you.
And please ask any questions at any time, because I'm trying to judge spacing. Here we go. So right now I'm going to give you 5 minutes, and I'm asking Mally to please put the timer on for 5 minutes so that you can go and explore some of these sites. And if you have an iPad and you want to explore the iPad apps, go for it, please. And once you finish, please give me the check in the checkbox so that I know you've returned and that we can carry on our conversation. If you have questions, you can use the chat box to ask me during that time. But please enjoy, go check out these websites and see how they can be used in your classroom. So Mally, could you please set up the timer? Oh, thank you. You already did. Okay. Thank you. See you in 5 minutes.
All of the links to that Christina just talked about are in the chat. So if you need to scroll up to get the link and check one of those out. And somebody had a question about the clock, so just click on the clock again to configure that. And Christina, if you want to turn your mic off when people are doing that, that would be great.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I'll try to speak clearly, and I hope the sound doesn't cut out. Would anyone like to share how they would use any of those websites or apps? Okay, we'll carry on. Oh, we have a question.
I wanted to ask, when you're doing the photo translate, does the written work actually have to be very clear, or would a primary student picture be able to be translated on that website?
I'm pretty sure it will have to be like a print or a very clear writing, because I don't think the program could decipher like the grade 1's writing. So I think it does need to be print from text. Does that help?
That helps. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move to our next stop on our journey today, and that is to making thinking visible. So today we're going to talk about, quickly explain everything, Glogster and Book Creator. Explain Everything is a wonderful tool because it's an interactive whiteboard, and it records everything the child is thinking and saying and doing. And that's why I really like Explain Everything. So here's an example. The student went rock climbing. So we put the image of rock climbing behind, and we superimposed a little figure here of a man climbing the rock. But on the side, you will see that the tools that are available for students, there's a drawing tool, a highlighter. The student can add shapes, text, images, audio, video. It has editing tools. The part I like the best is its recording. So we could record the student telling me his experience about trying to attempt to climb this rock. And there's an exporting tool so that I can export my work that I'm working with students to the teachers and even to the parents if we wanted to. And this is available in Google Play, the App Store, and the Windows Store. So Explain Everything is a great tool if you haven't used it. EduCreations is another one. EduPuppet is another one. These are great apps for making thinking visible because the students can manipulate it and share their understanding of the task at hand and the content of their knowledge and understanding. So this is a wonderful tool. If you don't know this one, check this one out. But it's, as I said, it's a similar one to EduCreations or Puppet Edu. And they're great. But I really like, as an itinerant teacher, I like the exporting feature because I can work with the student and then send this work to the classroom teacher so they know exactly what we've been working on. The next tool is Glogster. Glogster's great for making, now there is a fee to Glogster, I must admit. There's a fee to it, but I'm just sharing it with you anyway. So Glogster is also available, Google Play, App Store, and online. And it's a great tool for making thinking visible because it uses images, audio, and video. So here's an example of a student who's just recently arrived from Syria, and he's added a YouTube video of his favorite performer. He tells me what he wants to be. He tells me what's favorite, and it's all through images. The program itself allows you to upload documents. You can add links to the internet, add graphics, change the wallpaper, and even the student can grab a photo of themselves and then put it into the Glogster, or a video recording of something that they would like to say, or that's just a recording. So Glogster is a great tool for making digital posters. And again, I can share it. So this one we made together, and then we shared it with his teacher. So I could export it to his classroom teacher, and then they could use it. Yesterday I was working on it with another student from Jordan, and I couldn't leave the school until I had exported it to his teacher to make sure she had it so he could share it with his class. So this is a great little tool. It's called Glogster for you to know. And the last one is Book Creator. I really like Book Creator because it allows me to import images and to create a little book. And in this case, we had the student, he wrote it in English, and I wrote it in Arabic and English. So we made a dual language book about his experience in rock climbing. We can add video and audio as well to this Book Creator app. Now, Book Creator can be found in the App Store, but it can also be downloaded in the Windows Store, so I'm just letting you know. It also now in the App Store has a new feature for making comics, so that's another new thing. And as well, I can export and share these book creations, and sometimes I send them home to parents or export them to the parents so that they can see the student's their child's progression. Book Creator. So now we're going to take another 5 minutes, and I'd like you to please take some time and explore one of these apps or websites. The links again are now in your chat box, and we'll set the timer again and let you explore. Maybe this time we'll do 4 minutes. Thanks, Mally. Explain everything. It came with our, I think the board has access to it, so I think it's okay. I don't think there's a fee to that one. Someone asked that. Thank you. When you're ready to come back, please give me a check mark or any icon that you want so that I know you've returned. Thank you. Welcome back. Would anyone like to share how they would use Explain Everything or Glogster or Book Creator in their classroom or with their English language learners to support them? Okay, we'll carry on. Oh, thank you. Please use your mic.
Okay. I was thinking that the ability to collaborate would be really good if you're doing like a peer pairing, or even the ability to collaborate with a student from another grade that could help with this. So I thought that was a really great site.
Great point. Exactly. That's awesome. Yes, students can work together to build their capacity. That's a great point. Any other great points? Okay, we'll continue our journey. Our next stop, online leveled reading text. So now I'm going to take you to 3 great sites: Britannicus School, Teaching Kids News, and Newsella. Newsella is the one that Atala mentioned last time. Britannicus School is an OSAPAC website. That means every board in the province has access to this tool. But I'm finding teachers aren't familiar with it, so I wanted to highlight this tool for you today. So Britannicus School, the website that I know Mally will be putting in for you, is a tool. It's like it's an encyclopedia, but it has so much more. So you can select once you've logged in. Now, the issue with this one is that you won't be able to explore it today, so I'm spending a little more time on it. The reason why is that it needs it's password protected. So for example, the login will be the initials of your school board, but the password are the first 4 letters of your school board and 4 numbers. You must go to your school librarian. She will have the OSAPAC login and password for you so that you can access this site. It's great, and it's available to all teachers across the province. So today you can, when you log in, you'll see these trees. So it's either elementary, middle, or high school. And then you're going to see that it's going to have all sorts of articles, images, videos, biographies, all sorts of information. And all you need to do is, I chose intermediate, is to put in a subject of what you would like your students to learn. In my case today, I put Earth Day. And as you can see, oh, it's leveled reading. So now it'll bring the text down to level 1, level 2, level 3. So it's like a beginning, middle, and advanced in session. And it'll provide articles for each level. So today I chose level 2 to be in the middle, and then as you can see, it has articles, images, videos, whatever I need can be found on the side, and I can tab it and it'll bring it up for me. So I'm going to choose this Earth Day celebration article, and this is what it'll bring. Again, the text is here, but it also can be brought down from level 1, 2, and 3, so it can adjust the level of the text. It can, on the right, you'll see these symbols to the right. So there's the printer, obviously, I can print. I can email the text. Citing, so for elementary or secondary teachers, it will show the students how to properly cite the article. Then there's the World. Yes, the World. The World is a translation app, so it'll allow me to translate this article into many, many different languages. And it can read, but it can only read in English. It can't read in the other languages, but it will let me translate. On the left-hand side of the article, it'll show you the article, images and videos, so I can now click on images and videos. Related articles, I can add more articles if I wanted to, and there's a teacher feature. The teacher feature lets you select the Canadian expectations in Ontario, and it'll give you the subject, and it'll list the expectations. So if you wanted to know what expectation you were covering in this article, it's already linked for you. And then here we have the article translated. So I chose the translation tab, and then it asked me which language did I want to translate. And as you can see by the tab, there are many, many, many languages that you can use. So the article is now translated into, in this case, Arabic, and so that the student can access the information in their first language. So this is a great tool. Please use it. It's there for you, and it's available for all teachers. So just to make sure that everyone, that everyone knows, the axes are usually, the login is the letters of your board. So for me, for example, it's PVNCCDSB. And then the password would be PVNC, the first 4 letters of your board, and then the 4 numbers. So what you're looking for is those 4 numbers to go with you. And then you'll be able to access this account. Every board has their own login. And so that's why you need to go to your librarian to ask for the login. So this is a great research tool, and it comes for elementary, secondary, great tool. The next site is Teaching Kids News. So this is a great article, great website for news articles. So yes, it is grades 2 to 8, but many students can access this. So they are current articles in the news, entertainment, science, art, sports, politics, and even media literacy. So I chose the rock icon David Bowie, Changed the Face of Music. It's a current story, and it'll provide it for me, and it can print it as well. So it's current stories written by students, or they're written for students. The website will also provide you with writing prompts and reading prompts and access to videos or anything to link that will support the story, and it also is linked to the Ontario curriculum. And the next one is Newsella. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but it's a great little site that Atella mentioned last time. So here's an article, More People Buying Coca-Cola in Small Cans. So it was written, so if you see on the right-hand side, you'll see max 1,190 liters. You'll see the numbers on the side. So I've chosen 590 liters. And so it's brought it to a level, about a grade 3 level reading, and tells you the word count. It also will give me a writing prompt, and it will have a comprehension quiz attached to this. But if I use the same article, and now I've chosen higher up on the scale, now I'm reading at a grade 7 level, and you'll notice that the Coca-Cola looks to attract new consumers with a mini can. The complexity of the text has increased. This site also has articles in Spanish. So if you have Spanish, if you go to the text sets up here on the right in the bar by Newsella, and you select that tab, it'll show you that there's some Spanish text that you can have your students read as well. So if you have students who speak Spanish, this might be a tool that would be helpful for you. Any questions? Okay, if not, we're going to continue. I'm going to give you, I know, another 5 minutes, but I really want you to have a chance to take a look at teaching. Maybe we'll make it 3 minutes this time. Teaching Kids News and Newsella, because Britannicus School, you need a password. Unless you're at your school board, and if you log in, your computer might automatically pick it up. You could try. The web links, again, thank you, Mally, are in the chat box. Molly, if not everyone's back yet, could we give it another, say, 2 minutes? I'm trying to get a headset as well. Thanks, Molly. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? I'm trying a headset and seeing if that's clear for you.
Right away like that.
Molly, is this better?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit better.
Okay, would anyone like to share how they use these websites? Okay, thank you. Yes? Please choose to select the microphone.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
The Britannicus School and all of the sites that you show us right now really allow the students to talk about the same topic, but read it to their level. And then some students do not like to receive different materials during the class, so using these particular websites will allow you to use the same topic, but at the level of the student.
Thank you, Atala. Any other comments before we move on to our next stop?
I just wanted to mention that Teaching Kids News, on the website itself, there is actually a list of ways to discuss events in the classroom, how to do it so that it's a holistic perspective and how to approach it with the kids. And so I thought that was very valuable because with the world of media the way it is today, even young children get a hold of information very quickly, and learning how to approach it in different ways, it was very helpful.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Great. I think we're going to carry on now to our next stop, which is Google Apps for Education. So today I'm just briefly showing you how I use Google Docs as an itinerant, and hopefully you can get some ideas or share with us how you're using them in your classroom. If you would like to know specifically how to use these documents and this GAF, there are webinars in OTS that can help you and teach you how to use the programs. So today I'm just kind of giving you a brief overview and sharing with you how I'm using them. And if you'd like more information, please attend one of the webinars, and I'm sure Mally will be putting those in the chat box for you for another time. And here we go. So, Google Docs. Google Docs has changed the way I think. So here's an example of a student, and he wrote about basketball. And what I like as an itinerant, I encourage my students to use the Google Docs to share with me. So when they're doing a project or they're doing something, especially in secondary, they can share the article or whatever they're working on with me, so that when I come back to their school to work with them, I already have seen their work and I know exactly what I'm going to focus on. So it saves me time in the long run. And it also allows the student to know that they have someone that's helping them. So Google Docs is a great tool for sharing their work with me as an itinerant or with a classroom teacher. And the other day I was in a classroom and my student was trying to write something and he was struggling. And the student, who's an English-speaking student, looked at him and said, listen, share it with me on Google Docs and I'll help you. So they shared the piece of work together, and the English-speaking student said, here, I'll start you off. And he gave him a sentence starter. And this all happened organically. Like nobody planned it. They just automatically, because of the program, they just automatically started to work together to create a piece of text. I just thought, I was just so happy to see that happen naturally. So Google Docs is great. As an itinerant, I'm sharing with them, and I'm able to be proactive so that when I do spend time with those students, I know exactly what I'm focusing on. Another great feature of Google Docs is I can follow the revision. So I can see what the student has done. And if the student is working, say, with that other English student, I can see what the English student contributed and what my ELL contributed. This, as you can see, the student started this piece of text in September, and then we went back to it in January and added to it. So you're seeing the January version. So at the beginning he didn't have much, but when we went back to the text, he was able to add even more. So he could see his own development as he was going along. So a great feature is to follow the revision history. Now this is la pièce de résistance. This feature has changed everything. If you go to any Google document, even Google Slides, you will see a Tools feature. When you select Tools, yes, it'll give you spelling and definitions and word count and voice typing, and it'll translate the document. But remember, when it translates the document, it's not going to be accurate if it's longer than a paragraph, or I don't even know if it makes it for a paragraph. But the feature I want to point out is the Research. Research button is terrific. On the side, you'll see the Research. It'll come up a Research tab to the right of your document. And now you will be able to research right in the document. You don't have to go back out and search in another tab. You can research right in your Google Doc. But not only research, you can tell I'm excited about this one, you can add images or quotes. So here I've put in images of the basketball. All the images of a basketball come up. I can click, drag, drop. That's it. So simple. I no longer have to go back to the Google search images and look for an image, save it to my desktop, and then down and upload it to the document. It's right here. Isn't this a fantastic feature? So this is under Tools, Research tab, and all of these things will come up. You can do images, quotes, dictionary, it'll bring up tables, or you can Google and everything will come up. Websites, articles, whatever you need will come up. So I think this is a great feature that Google has put in. Oh, thank you. Google Slides. I've been creating Google Slides now for, it seems like every day. So I use Google Slides to create vocabulary lists or vocabulary words for my students. So here's an example where the students are using space. So I put the word star in English. Now I Google Translate, copy, cut and paste, and I put it back in Arabic. And I use the word reference to add in all the different meanings for the word star. If it's like telescope, I put in a definition of what the instrument is. And then I go back with the student and make sure that my translations are properly copied. And then, or I can have the student work with me or with another student to create their Google slide. And now we can share it. We can share it with the classroom teacher. We can share it with parents so they can see what vocabulary we're working on at home. And students can go home at night and just quickly go through these slides, and then they have the vocabulary that they need for the next day. This is why I really enjoy Google Slides. And as I mentioned earlier, I have 2 students now, 2 different schools, creating a slideshow on vocabulary for structures that will benefit both students, even though they're in 2 different schools. I would have never thought of that 5 years ago. So here's a great little way of using Google Slides. And the last but not least is the Google Drive. I love Google Drive in the sense that now I can create a digital portfolio for a student. And here's an example. I have the student's profiling here. I have the Google Slides that I made for the students. We have assignments that we're doing. So today I was working with some teachers, and we would create this Google folder, and I will share it. That's what this feature means, is that I can share it with an email address and send it to the other teachers so they can now have access to this folder, and we can all work together to support this student. So I was saying, so we're creating a document today. We thought, okay, we'll create one document, so we'll call it communication. So when the classroom teacher sees something that he wants me to address the next time I'm in, and not try to remember it, he can throw it onto the Google Doc so that I can keep an eye on it from wherever I am and know that the next time I come in, this is an area that he wants me to work on. So this is a way to bridge that gap so that we can always work. As an itinerant, when you're running between 4 schools a day, it's difficult to connect with teachers. And Google Apps have made it possible for me to connect with teachers. And that's why I really like the Google Apps.
Christina, could I add something in at this time? This is Avis.
Yes, Avis, of course you can add in anything.
So just to let people know, if your board is not a Google board, you are probably then a Microsoft board or using Office 365, such as the Blue Water board does. And the features that Christina has pointed out available through Google are also available on Office 365. So depending on your familiarity with and confidence with these features, you can do the same thing with the Microsoft platform. And so Google Drive has the equivalent of Microsoft Drive, and the slides, the equivalent PowerPoint slides, and the sharing facilities are the same. So it's just a matter of becoming familiar with whichever platform your board has chosen to use. But all of the features are wonderful and available.
Thank you, Avis. Would anyone else like to comment on how they use Google Apps or OneNote? Okay, we'll go to our next stop. Our next stop on our journey is ebooks in other languages. So we're talking about International Children's Library, Scribjab, and Unite for Literacy. And here we go. International Children's Digital Library. There's 4,619 books in their library in 59 different languages and free. So on this slide, you will see that on the left-hand side, I can choose the age that I would like the book to be for. So 3 to 5, 10 to 13. I can choose the age that I would like. I can have a short, at the bottom it'll say short, medium, or long books, depending on the book. On the right-hand side, it will give me the categories. But the feature that I like the best, which isn't really visible on this slide, is right at the bottom. It says keyword or in language. And I can choose any language of the 59, or even up here on the right-hand side, where it says language. I hope you can see it. You can choose any language, and the language books will appear. So, for example, I chose Arabic, and there are 30 books in Arabic that the students can access. Again, this is a great site for trying to maintain that first language as we're adding English. The next site is Scribjab. Scribjab is a writing tool, and so students can write, create, and record their own books and actually publish them on the internet. And I know Christine's done one of these books, or a few books and posted them on Scribjab. I don't know if anyone else has, and I'll show you what Scribjab looks like. So Scribjab, so here are student works. The students have drawn the pictures. They have created the book in dual language, so both languages. So in this case, it's Arabic and English for the first book shown. And they have now posted it online so other people can read their books. What a great way to value a student's heritage, or to value them. So this one is called Scribjab. And the next one is called Unite for Literacy. So here again, level English reading books, leveled books. You can choose them by the different categories that they have. So animals, plants, sports, whichever category that you would like. But on the left-hand side, you'll see this little like a bubble, and it says narration. Now I can select the story and which language I would like it to be told in. So for example, I could put in Spanish English, and when I choose a book, it'll read to me in Spanish or in English. So a student could listen to the story in Spanish for a couple of days, and then the next day listen to the same story, but listen to it this time in English. So this is a great little feature for this program, Unite for Literacy. So now we're following the same format. I'm going to give you 5 minutes for you to visit one of the following sites. When you're ready, please put a check mark anywhere you'd like, either by your name or on the book so that I know you're back. And Mally, thank you, Mally, we'll put in the timer again. If you have any questions in the meantime, please let me know. Thanks, Mally. Hi, Mally. It's not everyone's back yet. Could we give it another 2 minutes, please? Thank you, Mally. Welcome back, everyone. Would anyone like to comment about either of those three sites and how they could use them to support their ELLs or to support other students? Please use your mic.
I really was very impressed with the Unity for Literacy. The pictures are so inviting. The books look really inviting for the kids to latch onto, and the picture icons at the top are really user-friendly for across my cert role students to access. So I thought that was a really great website. Thank you. That's great. Someone asked regarding high school students. It did at least high-low. The age group for ICDL is, it went up to 13, I believe. So I'm not sure about any higher, but that's something I could look into for you, and we could try to see what we can find together. If you'd like to email me, I have my email at the end of the presentation, and you're more than welcome to ask me to send me an email, and I can help you look for something. Any other comments? So let's continue then. Our next stop, second to last, are a few of my favorite apps. So Seesaw, Bitboard, Telegami, and the Matthews series. Seesaw is a digital portfolio, and I know a lot of our classrooms are using this. So students can add their work to this portfolio
and share it with their parents, which you can do with the Google Apps as well. It's a nice feature to have so that parents feel that they are a part of the school or have a connection to the school through their child. So here's an example where we downloaded, put it into Seesaw, and that student can now share his work with his parents. So Seesaw is a digital portfolio tool. There is a fee to it, so you have to check to see if your school board is using it or what digital portfolio tool your school board is using, and see if it has a feature to share with parents. So that's Seesaw. The next one is Bitsboard. Bitsboard is an iPad app only, but what it can do is you create these like little flashcards. I would input the word, as I did here, crawling, and then all of a sudden images of crawling will appear. Then I can have the student record in their own voice saying the word crawling, and it will play back to them. Once I've created a set of flashcards, I can then make myself a Bitsboard, create like a tool, and it will put all these flashcards into different games that the student can use to play with. So it's great for, I find great for primary and some junior, so that they can now learn the words in a game format. So a lot of students like this. There's two versions of the free version, and then there's the pro version where, of course, you need to pay. But the free version allows you to create some Bitsboards, and you can create these for students. And they can enjoy learning the vocabulary as they go along. So this is Bitsboard. The next one is a fun app. It's called Telegami. So Telegami allows you to create an avatar. And it's great for step 1 students because they can create the avatar in their image. You can choose male, female, skin tone, eye color, hair style, clothing, shoes. You can choose your background. The program will give you a list of backgrounds, but you can use the camera feature to take a picture of the classroom so it looks like the student's avatar is in their own classroom. I can add emotion as well. And then what I would do is hit the record button, and the student will speak naturally into the program, and it will record their voice. And then when you hit the play button, it's as if the avatar speaks as if it was a student. So then the avatar acts like a student and speaks accordingly. And it's a great little app, and students love using it because it's fun, but it takes away the stress of standing in front of the class to present. They just use this avatar, and it helps. And the next one are the Mathies. The Mathies, so I call them the Mathies. There are 3 Mathie apps that have been developed by the ministry, so they're all free. And as you can see, you can download them in the App Store or in the Google Play Store. And what's great about the Mathies is they're like online tools that you can use to support your students. So I use the money one a lot because especially the secondary students, they need to learn the currency. So, and it allows me to have them make change, create dollar amounts, and understand the currency using this app. There's also the Notebook app, and it allows me to use different manipulatives, online manipulatives, to answer questions. It also has like a word page that I can record things and write in my own handwriting. So these are 3 great apps that I would like to highlight for you, and they're free because they're from the ministries that you can use, especially now with our students. And as an itinerant teacher, this is great because I'm not lugging around all these manipulatives. They're already there for me to use, and I can just use it on my iPad app. So these are the 4 that I like. They're some of my favorites. I'm asking you now, can you please share with us, either in the chat box or on the page itself, you can select the text tool and write in here on this page, tell me any apps that you would like to add or websites that you find that are useful for you and that would benefit everyone here today that's watching this presentation. Thank you. Yes, you do have to pay to Telegami to get the extras. I know. Once it's a good app, they start to charge. I agree. It's a shame that some of these apps are only for iPads, but I'm hoping in the near future that they'll make them available at the Google Play as well. I forgot to mention that Google Hangout is a way that you can use to screencast your Google Slides or PowerPoint or anything on a computer, on a desktop. You can use this feature. I'm just learning about it, so you would select it as an on-air Hangout, and you can record yourself as you go through your slides and then share your recorded version with your students. So for example, if I was using it to record my slides for vocabulary, I could add more detail to it, to the words as I'm going through it. So that's another feature. It's called Google Hangout. If anyone would like to speak, please just select your microphone and chime in and let us know what you think. That's a great idea about the Google Chat, where you can connect students who speak different languages in different schools, and so they don't feel so. In our area, we have like one student speaks Arabic, and then there might not be another student in that school, so it's isolating. So that's another way of where you can bridge the gap by having them speak to other students in other schools. Great idea.
Can I say something again?
Yes, of course.
I think Abe has already mentioned these, but Microsoft Word will also translate, and it will give you definitions and citations, and you can also speak. Like it has a feature for speak to text, and it's available in every Microsoft Word. In your tablet and in your computer, you can also change the different keyboards. So that is also available without the need of any extra app or anything. So Microsoft Word and all the applications, including OneNote, will also do the same thing, the translation and the speak feature.
Thank you, Atala. That's great. Would anyone like to speak with regards to the apps that they've posted online for us? I posted Padlet and Linuit because those are two online bulletin boards that you can create very easily, and students can instantly answer right on their cell phone, right on the Padlet, and let you know what's happening. And it's a quick tool to access information quickly from your class. If you're not familiar, try Padlet.com, and it will help you, or Linuit.com, and you can see what those sites are about. I'm not familiar with Kahoot or Memrise. If anyone would like to share with us or speak it, if anyone would like to share what those ones were about?
I've used Kahoot with ELLs, groups of ELLs on a multi-level ESL class. And so the questions are in English, and sometimes I put the questions in different languages, which forces them to speak in English when I make heterogeneous groups, so mix the languages within the group of students so that they don't all speak the same language. And yeah, just to review content from a previous day or a previous lesson, it kind of is a fun way for them to use their device to play the online game, but to then also maybe talk together if they're sharing one device for the group of students that are participating.
That's great. Thank you. I didn't know. That's awesome. I'll have to check that one out. People are saying using the Remind app, which is a great tool to use, because if you have students who are missing the announcements, and if it's in your school, especially in secondary, and you could remind them to wear that it's a dress-down day. We have that in our Catholic school, so the students know not to dress down. A Remind app is great for that, or to remind them of upcoming events. It's simple, but it's effective, and students can now feel that they're linked into the school community, where sometimes when the announcements are carrying on, they might not hear them or be able to understand them. So Remind is a great tool. Well, thank you very much for everyone. If there are any other questions that we have? The presenters of all of these webinar series would really like to thank OTF for providing us the support for this professional learning opportunity to be able to share with you today. If you have any questions or would like to ask any of us, you know we're sending you the links to all the presentations, and all the recorded presentations are on the OTF website. And you can email any of us if you have any questions at any time, and we'll be glad to support you or to help you with any questions that you may have. So thank you very much for joining me tonight. And I'm a little early, but I think we're okay.
And thanks, Christina. I'll just stop the recording for a sec. In a second to get the button. Now,